The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johnson.
Good morning and welcome to Simply Southern. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. Coming up on today's show, we'll visit some Northeast Alabama farmers who are beginning to count their losses after an extreme drought devastated crops.
Sidney Phelps from Bonnie Plants and our entomologist friend, Dr. A, are warning of a pest that could devastate pea crops, and ordinary insecticides won't stop it. Plus, we'll be visiting a week-long camp that has kids taking on a tremendous task, performing Shakespeare.
But to get things started, we're headed to a privately owned Alabama park that's been home to everything from glow-in-the-dark creepy crawlies to notorious outlaws. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation today. Since 1921, the Alabama Farmers Federation has been the voice of farmers and rural Alabama, standing up for family values, good government, low taxes, and economic opportunity. The Federation has helped make agriculture and forestry Alabama's largest industry, accounting for 1 in every 4 jobs. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation today at any local Alpha Insurance office.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Today's farming operation is more complex than ever before, with precision agriculture becoming an integral piece to farm management. AccuField provides precision agriculture technologies and site-specific management capabilities in a simplified and interactive format, helping you put all the pieces of the farming puzzle together. For more information, visit us at www.accufield.com.
When AJ was born with a heart defect, we practically lived at the hospital. We weren't prepared for that. My Alpha customers, my Alpha family made sure we had everything we needed. Now I'm even more motivated to help take care of them. Who I am fits what I do. I am Alpha.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
In 1975, the National Natural Landmark Program recognized a small, privately owned park in North Alabama as a leading example of the biological and geological diversity being preserved across our nation. If you take a walk down into Dismals Canyon, you'll quickly understand why. Over the years, my friend Kevin here has shown folks from all over the world through Dismals Canyon. And if you're wondering what the attraction is to this out-of-the-way park, he'll gladly clear it up for you.
Well, they come to meet me. They see me on the different television shows, they see me on the Facebook group, and there's even a picture of me on our website holding out a milkshake. So people come down to see what them milkshakes taste like.
And as swell of a fella as Kevin is, get ready to be even more impressed once you step down into the canyon itself. The walls of this sandstone gorge tower above one of the oldest primeval forests this side of the Mississippi. If you're getting a bit of that Jurassic vibe, you're not alone.
The Discovery Channel filmed when dinosaurs roamed America down here in 2001. Right here, Secret Falls is the most prominent place that you would see in that documentary. There was raptors playing right there along that dead tree there.
Thankfully, no raptors were around for this tour, but you can see just about anything else. Dismals Canyon is home to an incredible variety of plant life, including 30 of our nation's official state trees. Waterfalls, quiet streams, and a variety of cave formations can be found throughout the 1.5-mile canyon trail. And you may find yourself wondering, am I in Alabama anymore?
I had a guy a couple of years ago that was a world traveler, and he said this was the most diverse place in the world that he had ever been. I had never thought about it like that, but there is so many, the geology, the botany, the wildlife, it's just so diverse.
Local folklore has it that the canyon was named for an Indian chief by early Scotch-Irish settlers.
They could not pronounce the chief's name, so they called him Chief Dismal, and that's how we got our name.
Another bit of canyon legend holds that Aaron Burr hid out in the canyon after his notorious fatal duel with Alexander Hamilton. While the canyon does boast of Burr's hideout, the facts behind it apparently got a little lost in the translation.
We talk kind of funny, so the old people would say it was Burr's hideout. You would ask them, who? And they'd say Reuben Burr. So it was Reuben Burrow, who was a local outlaw, born in Marion County and raised in Lamar County, not too far from here.
If you take one of the canyon's periodic nighttime tours, you might meet another of Dismal's well-known inhabitants.
I have people come from all over the world down here, and a lot of them come to see our Dismalites. The scientific name is Orphelia fultoni. You want to try to say that? Oh no.
When the sun goes down, the walls of Dismal's Canyon will light up like a star-filled sky with these glowing larvae. Sounds cool, doesn't it? Well, there's certainly no shortage of fascinating things to see, day or night, in this North Alabama park. It's a day hike's worth of distance, but your feet may have a tough time convincing your eyes to follow.
I tell people, you want to give yourself 2 hours to take your time and see everything. People used to, I would ask them, how many pictures do you take? And after a while, I'd say, how many pictures do you take over 200? Because 200 is the minimum that you're going to take down here.
So when you go to meet Kevin, stick around for a stroll through the canyon. I'm sure you'll agree, Alabama never ceases to amaze. And as for that milkshake mentioned earlier, there's almost as much to discover on the Dismals Canyon website as there is in the park itself. If you're looking to have yourself a dismal getaway, you'll find any information you could possibly need at dismalscanyon.com.
Jim, I feel like we've had a theme to your stories the last half of this season. We've talked about outlaws in this story and the Old Town story. We've even put you in jail at the Mobile Police Museum.
I just hope the NSA isn't watching this today.
Yes,
Yeah.
Turn it off if you're the NSA. Up next, we're stopping by Camp Shakespeare to see how elementary and middle school students are transformed into talented thespians.
Alabama soybean farmers help fuel the state's economy. Soybeans are used to make clean, renewable biodiesel and are a key ingredient in feed for poultry, catfish, and livestock. Soybeans are used in dozens of products we use every day. But best of all, soybean farmers generate $258 million and more than 4,000 jobs for Alabama's economy, all while helping conserve our natural resources. Explore the power of soy.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Seriously?
Have some respect. Pick it up, man.
Did you just litter? Take pride in your school.
Pick it up, man.
Clean it up, dude.
Besides keeping your campus clean, adopt a mile with roadside cleanup. Attend the next Coastal Cleanup Day or pitch in on the annual Spring Cleanup campaign. Make a difference by picking up litter and
Don't drop it on Alabama!
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
For more than 30 years, the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, or ASF, has been bringing Broadway quality theater performances to Montgomery. While ASF may be most well known for superior plays, it also houses first-rate education programs, including Camp Shakespeare.
It's a comedy of errors, written by the world's greatest playwright and performed by 4th, 5th, and 6th graders as their families watch from the audience. This play is the fast-paced conclusion of the week-long Camp Shakespeare, which teaches students about all facets of the theater.
I've done a little bit of stage combat. We've done a lot of dancing. We did a bunch of tech for like backstage stuff. Some what they call voice class. We did, of course, the acting. We did the acting after lunch.
Originally from Orange County, California, 11-year-old Judah is a 6th grader at Alabama Christian Academy. He said he signed up for Camp Shakespeare because he already knows he enjoys acting.
I like doing stuff I don't do in real life. Like, I don't really punch a person in the stomach in real life.
You've got to punch somebody.
Right.
Is he cool with that?
Yeah, he's totally cool with it. I just punch him, slap him, karate chop him.
Karate chop him?
Yeah, in the back.
While stage combat is a popular part of the camp for obvious reasons, the program also teaches students skills they can apply in endeavors outside of theater.
Even if their kids aren't interested in acting or going into theater, it's so great for kids to do. Let's say a young person who's going to go into science or even law, they can learn to articulate, to express themselves, and to have great empathy with other people. So the values of a Shakespeare or a theater camp of any kind just go on and on and on and help in life in so many different ways.
Along with learning life skills at the camp, students find out there's a lot more to theater than just acting.
It's 8:30 to 4 every day. They have classes in acting and voice production. They'll have movement for the stage, and if there's a dance, it'll include some kind of dance. Then we have stage combat, which all the kids love because they get to be superheroes. And then we also have a tech class where they go around to different departments of the theater, whether it be costuming, sets, and they learn about other areas of the theater.
Summer programs at ASF aren't just for Montgomery County students. They're open to everyone of the appropriate age range, from anywhere in the state or country. Florence native and college student Liza Jane Richey had to wait until high school to take part in an ASF program and later became a camp counselor.
I would have loved a camp like this, but they don't offer it. Like this area, they don't know how lucky they are to have this here. And so I can just see like little glimpses of, you know, the way I was at that age. So it's really fun.
Montgomery native Michael McKitt honed his acting chops at ASF and couldn't resist the chance to come back as a camp counselor.
I think the biggest job I have here as a counselor is being a role model for the kids, because theater is a scary thing, you know. You gotta put yourself out there for everyone to see. And I'm just here to let them know that it's okay to be silly, it's okay to be weird, it's okay to put your all into something.
McKitt and Richey agree that seeing the students perform at the end of the week is the big payoff.
It's really fulfilling, actually. It's so fulfilling. When the show is over, just the gratitude that they have for their teachers, their counselors, it's really heartwarming. It gets emotional sometimes, actually.
Sometimes it's a long week and you really have to like push them to keep staying on task and staying focused. But then when it's the day of the show, they're just so excited. They have like a little dance number and it's super cute, and it makes me I cheer for them really hard, and it's sweet.
Parents don't need to feel left out because ASF also has acting classes for adults. Find out more at asf.net.
Are the education programs year-round?
The camps, like the one that we just saw, are mostly during the summer, but they do have year-round programs, especially where the actors go into schools and they actually act out plays.
Oh, that's good to know. Coming up next, hot and dry are two conditions that don't make it easy to be a farmer. After the break, we'll take a look at Alabama crop losses caused by drought.
Alabama wheat and feed grain farmers grow food, fuel, and freedom. Their harvest helps feed Alabama's multi-million-dollar livestock, catfish, and poultry industries while reducing America's dependence on foreign countries for energy and food. By combining their strength with farmers of other commodities, feed grain growers are fueling the economic growth of Alabama communities.
Join the more than 350,000 families who can save money as members of the Alabama Farmers Federation. Members get discounts at local businesses and can save on GM cars and trucks, hotel stays, child car seats, and more. For about 50 cents a week, your family could save hundreds of dollars a year. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation and start saving today. Learn more at any Alpha Insurance office.
Nothing brings the family together like U.S. farm-raised catfish. American catfish farmers are dedicated to producing a premium, healthy catfish with a consistently mild, sweet flavor. Because we take as much pride in our work as you do in your cooking. From our family farms to your family's table, you can be sure you're getting the highest quality fish. Because your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
2016 has been a devastating year for some Alabama farmers. While much of North Alabama has been abnormally dry, the extreme northeastern corner of the state went through the summer with only about half an inch of rain. Kevin Worthington shows us the effect dry weather has had on crops.
For many farmers in North Alabama, the emotions are the same.
Frustrating, disheartening. What else could I say? I mean, you know, we want rain, but we can't get rain. It's left up to the good Lord above. You know, we're not in control of the weather.
Philip Thompson produces soybeans, corn, cattle, and hay on his 500-acre farm in southwestern Jackson County. But he's preparing for a drastically reduced yield on this year's crops. He says his farm had no significant rain between April and August, resulting in a deficit of more than 2 feet. And the shortage of rain has resulted in extremely short crops.
Those soybeans should be at least waist high by now, Kevin. They was planted June 1st. Under normal conditions, they would be at least to my belt. But, you know, just due to the dryness, you know, they just hadn't grown.
Not far away, Clay Kennemer is trying to salvage what he can of a corn crop. Normally, this would have been picked and the kernels turned into chicken feed. Instead, these entire plants are being chopped to be fed to cattle.
His normal yields would have been much more valuable. And normally, corn will be at least head high on me, and this is from knee high to chest high.
When row crops aren't growing, that means grass isn't either. So cattlemen are feeling the effects of the drought as well.
Cows, especially mama cows, graze grass. They turn grass into beef. That's their superpower. But we normally feed cows from November till February, March, through the winter. We don't normally feed them in the middle of the summer. But due to the drought, the grass wasn't growing, so we had to supplement them just to keep them growing.
A lot of them is just going to sell out. They don't want to buy hay. Hay is the most expensive part of a cow-calf operation. They're frustrated, they're going to sell out.
Thompson says he actually considers himself lucky because he cut hay early this year before the rain stopped. He says many of his neighbors are in far worse situations, but low prices for farm crops are making a bad situation even worse.
For what it cost us to produce a bushel of corn, we ought to be getting twice what, you know, the market's price in. If, you know, commodity prices was high and we just made a half a crop, we'd still be in better shape. But when we don't have a lot to sell and commodity prices low, it's a double whammy. It hurts.
In spite of the poor prospects for this year's crop in northeast Alabama, farmers say they'll just pray for better conditions next year. Thompson says they plan for times like these because they know they can't control prices or the weather.
We don't like droughts, farmers don't. I had a whole lot rather it rain. At least I'd have, grass in the pasture for the cows and better looking crops. But I went through droughts before. They're no fun. And we've always came back. And it's tough. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, but we'll be all right.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
Kennemer and Thompson both have cows, and while they've been feeding hay that was set aside for winter, they expect to be able to buy more from surrounding areas because the drought was so localized.
And that's true, because if you go into Mobile and Baldwin counties, they actually were kind of wet, but the farther up north you go in the state, the worse the drought became.
Yeah, the northeastern part of the state's the worst I've seen since '96.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jackson and DeKalb counties especially.
Oh, really? When Simply Southern continues, our entomologist friend Dr. A is warning Sidney Phelps of Bonnie Plants of a bug that could be even more devastating for pea crops than the drought.
We all have busy lives. When my customers have a claim, I want to help them get things back to normal as quickly as possible. There's no better claim service out there, and that's one of the reasons I work for Alpha Insurance. And our Alpha to Go app is just one way we make it easy to get that service. Anytime, anywhere.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
What one thing can you say about your local quality co-op store? You can trust us. You get what you need for your farm, for your lawn and garden, and the safest products for your pets. We're locally owned and operated, and you can trust that we care about our community and the people in it. So if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, the Quality Co-op Store has exactly what you need to get the job done. All this plus friendly, knowledgeable advice. Your Quality Co-op Store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie Plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Hey folks, Sidney Phelps with Bonnie Plants. Today I am here with Dr. A, and we're going to talk about an outbreak that's really going on in Alabama right now for home gardeners, for produce farmers, especially with beans, mainly in beans. So let's talk about that. You were telling me in some of our talks about this curculio. I'm not very aware of, but I know some farmers, especially in the produce industry, are extremely aware of it. So let's get the general public up to speed. So what's going on with this curculio?
Okay, now this time we're talking about a small insect. It almost looks like a boll weevil, but it's called the cowpea curculio. And it's a very small insect with black, all black body parts, okay, and little like dots or spots on the top, if you look from the top. And it really likes to feed on cowpea or southern peas and completely devastate. It can cause almost 80-90% crop loss by feeding on those developing pods and the seeds. And one of the major problems we have dealt with this insect, why it is so unique, is it's insecticide tolerant or resistant to most insecticides.
Okay.
So you cannot kill it in large acres. You can't kill it with simple insecticides. You have to think out of the box or time your insecticides in a certain way or prevent damage in this case.
Okay.
So it's a major challenge for our industry, and it's been here for several years now. And that's why I wanted to send out this alert to farmers to watch out for cowpea curculio.
You're talking about being preventive. What are the curculio attacks the pods?
Mm-hmm.
So when do you start seeing them develop? I mean, now is a time, especially when you're getting fresh produce coming off. Some people are already starting to pick. Is it something they need to be preventative before the bloom stage comes in?
Yes, these insects come in right before the bloom because they want to lay eggs on those pods.
Okay.
And there's about 2 generations of these curculios. And we plant late for our research, but one of the ways producers have tried to avoid is to plant early and get done by the time the insects shows up in the plots.
Okay.
But we intentionally plant the copies late, and we get the second generation that's really difficult to control with insecticides. And last year was a struggle. This year we're going to expand it with more research plots. And we have research plots in Bruton and Headland where we're looking at this and monitoring this insect. So producers and gardeners can watch our YouTube videos that's going to come up. There's already one on YouTube. If you Google Copy Curculio, there's not very many people working on it. We are one of the few groups. So check us out on the website, on YouTube, watch those videos, and please call your extension agent or me and try to get some possible solutions before an outbreak.
This is something we can definitely, want to keep tabs on that, especially your website works great with giving people data and information. The newsletter comes out monthly to get maps to show you where you see different outbreaks or where problems are. So produce farmers and even home gardeners, really pay attention to what Dr. A tells you. This is a lot of information that you can use even in your home garden. If you've got friends that are in the produce industry, it's a really great thing. So check out his website and all the great work that they do with the Extension Service throughout the state. Any questions you have about problem garden pests or any other issues, go to bonnieplants.com or check out our app, Homegrown with Bonnie Plants.
It's always good to have Dr. A with us to show us how to keep the critters out of our garden.
That's right. We don't want to share our garden with insects.
No.
Whether it's pests or other problems, drop Sidney an email at simplysouthern@alafarm.com if you have a question, and he may answer it on an upcoming show. Of course, there's loads of gardening information available 24/7 at bonnieplants.com.
For more information on this week's featured stories, check out their websites. Visit dismalscanyon.com to plan your trip to see the Dismalites, or the waterfalls, or any of the other features of the canyon.
Camp Shakespeare is just one of many educational programs offered through the Alabama Shakespeare Festival in Montgomery. To find out more about programs and performances, visit asf.net. And the Alabama Farmers Federation website has whatever you want to know about Alabama agriculture available at alphafarmers.org.
You can view previous shows by visiting our website at simplysouthern.tv.net, and while you're online, be sure to like our Facebook page. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you'll make plans to join us again next Sunday morning. I'm Jim Allen.
And I'm Mary Johnson. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.